Badigidiganga, skadigidigango, kapdigitinga, kakadigidimba, kasakidiga, gambagasigiya, kasabigiyaman ng simadibiya, kasapiningamang kasakidiga, watskadiminingi, pangasabigiba, pagkabigidigida, mas magninga, gumgaskadigi, sa kabidinya, badigidiganga, skadigidigango, kapdigitinga, kakadigidimba, kasakidiga, gambagasigiya, kasapiningamang ng simadibiya,
Same size, same mechanical properties, same electrical properties.
I need electric.
And they're telling you they need an electric. Okay, so in the future, if your being or your body or your state of being is electric, okay, that means you've got an electric body that's able to interface with your DNA and interface with higher parts of your brain. So this is where all this stuff is going. Okay, being an electric. Okay.
Same size, same mechanical properties, same electrical properties. Lurking in their DNA are viruses, ancient viruses, and they're not dead.
Rhythms which indicate a rudimentary connection, but half of alien genes are dormant.
Yeah, but they're telling you something. Okay.
Lurking in their DNA are viruses, ancient viruses, and they're not dead, they're not inactive.
You see? And this is the key to all of this. Ancient viruses. That's what she's calling it. So all of this has everything to do with the ancient DNA. That's basically what she's saying, but she's not really trying to say it though. So she's using semantics and mental gymnastics to kind of put a wall over every single person's eye so they don't really see what they're saying. This whole thing has to do with being ancient, and the ancient genes are being called a disease, are being called something that needs to be cured, something that needs to be edited. Somebody has a requirement for this. There is a group of entities and beings that need this to be happening. But she's saying it though.
Activated, they're just asleep.
Whatever it is, it appears to be dormant.
We've seen spiking in the biorhythms which indicate a rudimentary connection, but half of alien genes are dormant.
You see? So what we're now going to start doing is we're going to start connecting these senses and abilities with what's happening or what the scientists are saying about quantum mechanics, physicians, people like that, people with PhDs doing lectures, TED Talks, whatever. We're going to show you that these senses are within your brain, but the only thing is the reason why you don't have them or you don't use them is because they're not activated, okay, through your junk DNA.
Of which only 15% are activated.
Okay, everything is to do with abilities, DNA, genes, editing your DNA, and they're calling it technology. What's the technology? This is the technology. Okay?
Lighting.
This is the technology, you see? Using the power of your mind to influence, okay, a change. That's called telekinesis, okay? This is a sense which is within your junk DNA. This is one of the senses. Now imagine if you had 96 more senses, what other things could you do? Because this was normal in the beginning. The Egyptians could do this. The Aztec people could do this. Okay.
Keep it lit. Because normal people have always hated us.
You see it? I'll even replace this term normal with Anunnaki or reptilian or insectoids or Yahweh or anything, because the key thing they're missing is the soul. And when beings don't have a soul, they have an envy for those that do have a soul, or those that are electric beings, soul beings. Okay, and this is why they say because normal people have always hated us. I can't make this stuff up, bro. And you see, they're showing you though. Okay, they're giving you the psychosis or the mental complex that these beings have against the people that have souls, hated. Okay, you see a lot of black Americans, they hate to be called African. Okay, a lot of beings hate this because there is a gene hatred, okay, for beings with souls. That's what's going on.
You just used to do it with a smile on your face.
Dormant means asleep.
Yeah, this guy even said it means asleep. So it means the junk DNA is got genes which are asleep. And you see, activation and sleep. So these genes are dormant. The ancient genes are inside of human beings and they are asleep. They're not active. But the thing is, they're asking you if they can edit these genes to stop them from waking up. What's the junk DNA for? Junk DNA activates the dormant parts in your being, from your cells to your brain, or the other parts of your brain, which have been asleep. It could be like 1,000,000 years, 500 million years, 500 trillion or billion, whatever. You have an ancient aspect of yourself which is asleep. Okay, this is what they're saying though. You don't get it.
Now, if the immune system, for example, is not functioning very well, and that would be the case in somebody who had received a heart transplant because they'd be on immunosuppression.
Just to break down how the Kundalini works, and we're just gonna put together a couple of illustrations showing you what spinal fluid is and how this connects to the DNA and the junk DNA, plus what's going on right now. So we're just gonna tie these things in because there's a lot of information and a lot of misinformation. Okay, so what we're gonna correlate these lectures with some of these illustrations because this is the best way to kind of show that, so you can get an understanding of what it means. Because this is a high value illustration. See, and this is why the hatred is there, because a specific being have a Titan genes, okay, and they have the ability to do this, but they're telling you we have to delete this, okay. They have to cure this. The ability to have this is called a virus or a disease, and they are giving you the edit to edit your genetic makeup, okay. It takes a lot of focus and discipline to get to a level where your being becomes electric, okay. So when you guys ask me questions or how do you do it, no, it's not about how you do it, it's how consistent are you and how focused and disciplined are you mentally to be able to achieve this, okay. I don't have to give you anything. All I do is just show you the illustrations. You have to do the work though, okay. You don't just get it, you just wake up and you have it. No, there's a lot of work that needs to take place, and a lot of discipline And this is why this person is being trained to have that ability to master the abilities. Okay.
Okay, the guy up there is the guy who. How do you want to live in this life? Do what they want us
Okay. Rules, laws. They're telling you.
to do, live by their rules, hide our powers.
Yeah. So this whole thing is to do with hiding your powers. Okay. And if you have a problem with this, you're labeled a resistant. Okay. So it's to do with hiding your power through CRISPR. Okay.
Fuck that. You are and always will be a class 5 electric.
Mikey, I want my money.
Things have changed, man. The trust.
And they even say class 5. So that means you have to get to a level where there's different classes of heights you got to reach to. There's a criteria of becoming an electric being, and I'll even give you a better term is prime creator or creator. Okay.
Came to me directly. They told me you got some debt. It's my territory now. So why don't you get the fuck off? Fuck off.
You see how dangerous this stuff is? You see how potent this stuff is? So in the Bible, when they were explaining this thing, Yahweh, when he was explaining, he was basically calling it Satan, okay, or demonic, or whatever they want to call it. They call it the worst things because of stigmatization. This is why most of you don't read books that have anything to do with this, because it's supposed to be a thing that's hated because of how powerful and potent it is, okay?
Be who you are. And if you see something that you want, take it.
You gotta focus. Electric, okay? That means you have to be on an electrical level in order to channel this, okay? He's a class 5 electric. And all of you, you're class 10 and idiotic. Class 10 American Indians, okay? Because it's idiotic, the stuff you do there. It's crazy. But listen to this. You see it? And this is how powerful this stuff is. Let's just give you a little bit.
Hold it, Connor.
Okay. Let's go back a bit. You see it? Because the thing is, with this, yeah, because they're dealing with spinal fluid, there's a lot to do with adrenaline. So you're building up the anger, okay? Anger is one part of it which activates this stuff, because this stuff is in the nervous system, okay? You see it? Science fiction, guys. You'll be saying it's science fiction. But they're telling you they want to delete this. This is what's happening. They're gonna delete your genes, bro. They're gonna delete your ability. So Garfield, Unc, and all you guys that go on YouTube talking to people, telling people, oh, we don't know what CRISPR means. We don't know what's going on. Well, we got the proof though. Is this still science fiction? You let me know. You can build all the banks in the world, all the houses in the world, that's still not going to change that this is more advanced than anything on this planet. Okay, this. And when they say technology, they're not talking about cars, they're not talking about iPhones, computers, they're talking about this, the ancient electric beings. Okay, this is what they want to delete. And they call it junk, so you think it's junk. But is it junk though? Have you ever seen junk do this, bro? No, this is what it is.
I need electric.
And they're telling you they need an electric. Okay, so in the future, if your being or your body or your state of being is electric, if it's electric, that means you got an electric body that's able to interface with your DNA and interface with higher parts of your brain. So this is where all this stuff is going. Okay, being an electric. Okay, as you can see, all these people, they're looking for jobs. Okay, but they're being cast out because of being electric people. Okay,
Two at least. So nobody wants to get paid today.
see, so it's now like this is now on the black market. Being an electric is now being on the black market. This is the future of where this stuff is going. You're gonna, when you are this type of being, this stuff you can only find it on the black market because it's illegal to be an electric. So it's illegal to be an electric being. Okay, that's what they're saying, really.
All right. I'm an electric.
And this guy said, I'm an electric. Okay.
$10,000 volts.
And you see they're telling you 10,000 volts. Okay. This is the type of frequency we're dealing with a high voltage electric body frequencies where somebody has the ability, okay, to get to this frequency level. Okay, that's basically what he's saying here.
You better be worth the money. On a clock. Come on, come on.
And you see that electric shock? This represents lightning or titan. Because what they're basically telling you, they're telling you these topics or subjects, they are to deal with a high voltage of electricity, okay, a high voltage of a technology which is within you. Only a specific beings are able to actually reach this level. And you see this film. This film is called Code 8. Okay, 8 represents the Kundalini, and we're gonna get more into it.
Son of a bitch.
Given up.
And this is what we asked to do, to give up. You say, oh no, this is nonsense, guys. We shouldn't be, talking about this. It's just nonsense. But they're explaining this and expressing it in these illustrations, like I told you before. You see? And this is what the junk DNA has the ability to do. Activate this electric body so you become a higher conscious being, allowing yourself to use about 100% of your brain. It makes you somebody who's not a human. This is where the superpowers are and abilities are. Electric body, they're showing you though. You see it?
Yeah.
See it? And this is why this has to be stopped. The editing in the DNA in the cells has to be stopped, okay? Because ancient DNA. This is inside of your DNA, and they express it. And I'll give you illustrations and proof to show you, these generic illustrations plus lectures, putting this stuff together, because we're bridging together and see what correlates with what. Because they speak in lectures and they tell you this is what we're doing, but they use code, so you don't know what they're saying because they're using a scientific language. But here, what I'm doing is I'm showing you what the language means with illustration, because this is the easiest ways for you to actually see it. Okay.
Oh.
And art imitates life as well. Just remember that.
Class 2.
And see, this is another sense. We showed you the electric sense. Now we're showing you this. These are all the senses which are inside of your DNA, which are asleep, like they say. The woman just expressed it and she told you they're asleep. Okay?
Alright, let's do it. You got it.
And they're trying to get it from you. Okay?
Ader hospital.
Okay, now let's pay attention to this. Pay attention to what these people are saying. Listen to this. Psych farm rated. Okay? So in the future, this is going to be the highest commodity in the world, in the whole universe, okay? Because this is where all your ancient DNA is, okay? And ancient abilities are. And here, listen, let's read this. 8 people with abilities were sent to hospital, okay? So, some in serious conditions. Police say it's unclear if those being tapped were whatever they're saying, okay? So in the future, the most important thing is spinal fluid. And where is this spinal fluid coming from? It's coming from your nervous system, okay? But the thing is, it has to be unlocked for it to wake up, because it's coming from the genes. So the junk DNA has the ability to cause the spinal fluid to rise to your brain and awaken dormant parts in your brain, giving you a psych ability, okay? A psychic ability, okay? And they even show you with abilities. Hospital, okay? Condition. Pay attention to the words. You see what they're saying? Tapped, hijack, things like that.
Hospitalized after police raid another psych farm in the Lower East Side. The debate continues whether those giving up their spinal fluid.
And it's to do with spinal fluid, okay? Whether those giving up their spinal fluid, because what you're doing now is you're giving up your DNA, you're giving up your spinal fluid. And this is the only thing that has the ability to awaken the dormant parts in your brain. This is extraterrestrial DNA, bro. This is alien DNA, bro. This is what it is. That's what they're telling you. But it's in the genes. But we're gonna show you the proof, because there's lectures that they're doing and they're explaining it, but they're using different words, so semantics, how it works.
Out their spinal fluid should be treated as victims.
And they're even saying these beings that have this, they're gonna be trafficked. This product is going to be on the market, on the black market, and trafficked. Spinal fluid, because it gives people abilities. Okay, they're showing you spinal fluid, tapping into their spinal fluid, editing their genes, editing their fluid, which comes from the DNA.
or traffickers.
Thanks to the courageous work of our drug unit, we are winning the war on psych.
It's the war on psych, or psychic abilities, okay, of beings with junk DNA activated to give them psych abilities. That's what they're saying.
While it is easy to celebrate the success of this operation, we must not forget that violent cartels continue to poison our neighborhoods.
The LCPD have also released the following video, of which they've come to call the psych run.
See, and that's what's coming in the future, bro. But the thing is, I give these illustrations just to show proof, though, because people think it's a science fiction. This is not. If it's science fiction, why are the scientists talking about it? And I just showed you the TED Talk lecture of that woman speaking about genetic editing and stuff like that, because all of these subjects, they connect together, they correlate. There is a connection between the two. So this has nothing to do with anything else. All it has to do with is spinal fluid, which comes from the junk DNA. Not one person on this YouTube has this information. Not one person. There is not one. I don't even think they know what spinal fluid is and what it does. And if they speak on it, there is a couple scientists on YouTube talking about spinal fluid. They just think it's some water that protects the brain from dropping on the floor and damage. But if that's true, then why is art imitated in movies and saying this? Okay, that shows you there's a contradiction. If it's not a contradiction, then that means it's an ignorance that people don't know that this is what it does. If you go to study Indian texts, they know this is what it does, because the Indians are smart, bro. Okay, most of them, they get A's and A stars because they're scientifically smart people, so they know how this stuff really works. So you have to study. There's a bunch of books on this. When I go to university, I'm gonna show you a couple books, just to show you that there is PhD scientists, physicians, quantum mechanics people in computer programming that use the same terms because they understand that this is how it works. It's like a systematic thing. Well, this is just to show you how it works.